Give all glory and praise unto the Lord Yahawah, Bashem, Yahawashi, Brakatah Yahawashi, Brakatah Yahawah, and Brakatah Yahawashi. This is gonna be a real quick video, just really impromptu, really nothing. I don't really have any precepts except like one. And because I was scrolling, you know, things of that nature, scrolling on the interwebs, and you come across stuff, and it's just like that. It reminded me of the scripture. It reminded me of some particular precepts, and it's like, wow, man, you know. And this wasn't even a video that was like a biblical video. Like I was looking for this. It's just this literally just popped up, through the spirit, just through the spirit, like just randomly. And then my first thought is like, man, look at Esau, bro. Look at Esau, and look how he's eating his food. And the scriptures speak about this. The scriptures literally speak about this. So where would we? Let's go back to Instagram. We're gonna turn off the noise, and I'm just gonna speak as it just plays, because a picture speaks 1,000 words, then a video speaks 1,000,000 words. Fuck it, you know what I mean? Through the spirit. And it's like, these are the Edomites, man. And and one of their characteristics is they according to the scriptures, is they like their meat. The scriptures paint out particular characteristics of Esau, man of the field, things of that nature, hunter type vibe. But he also likes his meat, very rare, very with tons of blood in it. And that's one thing, bro. I can't get down with that, man. I can't get down with that, man, because you need shit need to be cooked, man. And I'm looking at this shit. I don't even know what you even asked for. Like, what the fuck? I don't. They eating. Oh my god, bro. They eating a motherfucking. I don't eat like they're eating, man. Just look at this shit. All right, now look. Just stop right here. Just stop right here. Let's just stop right here. Just pause it right here. Look at all that fucking blood on this fucking man's plate, bro. You can't tell me this shit. You can't tell me this shit looks like, yo, bro, we're finna dig in. You know what I'm saying? Like someone cooked this shit and was like, yeah, that's done right there. Go serve that. It's insane. You know what I'm saying? Through the spirit. But the scriptures do speak about this, and things of that nature, and how these Edomites, these so-called white women, man, the white so-called white man, so-called white woman, so-called white, white child, they self-prescribe themselves this name in Virginians in 1621, I believe. I might be wrong, but anyway, they self-prescribe themselves as so-called white. They're not actually white. That's a play on words. And we're not actually, when I say we, I mean the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We're not a color. We're not a crayon. We're not so-called black, quote unquote, but we're actually go back to the 12 tribes of the house of Israel. But who these people go back to is none other than the Edomites, man. And this is how they eat their food, man. This is how they get down. Just disgusting. I just wanted to bring it out. This isn't a lesson where it's like it's groundbreaking information. Like, oh my God, this is new shit. No, this is nothing new under the sun, like the scriptures speak about. But we can get some precepts on this though. And just go into how Esau, this is Esau is the forefather of the Edomites. So it's only correct that since he's the forefather of the Edomites, that the Edomites are gonna do the same shit, that their forefather was into, which was eating meat that wasn't fucking fully cooked. You know what I'm saying? Like that meat that they're eating needs to be a little bit more brown on it, a little bit more. They need to cook that shit for at least another motherfucking 15 to 20 minutes. Maybe 10 on each side. I don't know. It just depends on how hot the heat is. But that shit is uncooked. That shit is raw. All right. These people are disgusting. And we're truly living under the Edomites, man. And it's gonna be very very eye-opening to see, once we get to the kingdom, the fullness of how evil and wicked and vile these devils are, because we don't really see it. We see it but we don't really see it as how we're going to see it when the Lord gives us those new bodies. So anyway, this is Genesis 25, and I guess I'll start up. And at verse 29, this is Genesis 25:29. It says, "In Jacob being the progenitor of the 12 tribes of Israel." So keep that in mind. It says, Jacob sawed pottage. Actually, let's read it in the NLT. So this is what NLT, Genesis 25:29 NLT on the right hand side here. It says, "One day Jacob was cooking some stew," you know what I mean? "And Esau arrived from the wilderness exhausted and hungry." All right, but he was hungry. Verse 30 NLT. "And Esau said to Jacob, 'I am starved. Give me some of that red stew.'" And it's red because obviously it's red because it's raw. It's not fully cooked yet. That's what happens when things are red. Is because it's raw. You put some fire to it, it's not gonna keep being red. It's gonna brown up. It's gonna cook. But shit, he was in the middle of cooking. But here comes Esau. All right, let's keep reading. It says verse 30, "And Esau said, 'I am starved. Give me some of that red stew.' This is how Esau got his other name, Edom, which means red. Adawam, I do believe. Adawam. Yeah, I think I'm saying that right, Adawam. Let me go in and make sure. Hold up. No, that should be right. So, and then also Esau is red, as he's a red people, because he says he's white, but then, like I said before, that's a so-called white. He called himself that. That's not actually, he self-prescribed himself as white, but they're really pink though. They're really red. Their blood shows forth through their skin, man. And that's why they got the term redneck. Like if you see certain Edomites, they're red as fuck, bro. They look like fucking lobsters, bro. They look ugly as shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? For real. But anyway, reading on verse 31. It says, NLT says, "All right," Jacob replied, "but trade me your birthright as the firstborn son." Verse 32. "Looking, dying of starvation, said Esau, 'What good is my birthright to me now?'" But let's just really I didn't want to get into, birthright and all that situation. I just wanted to get into, how vile these devils is, and just want the characteristics of, Esau's that they want to, for some reason, according to, how the Lord got it set up, because everything's of the will of the Lord. The Lord set these people up. The Lord, created, the characteristics. The Lord created, the Israelites. The Lord created everything and set up, different nations to be diverse. There's a scripture. I'm gonna have to do a little word search, and that should be the last precept. Let me see. Let me see. So like, bear with me. Made their ways different. Oh, okay, hold on. Okay, it's an Apocrypha. Hold on. I'm trying to see. Here we go, right here. Thank the Most High Yahawashi. All right, let's get it in this beautiful chapter. Wait, hold on. Where we at? Let's jump down. let's start at verse 9. So there's Ecclesiasticus in verse 9, you know, because I brought out how the fact that the Most High Yahawashi, well, Salaki, let me say it like this. The Most High Yahawah through Yahawashi created everything that we see, you know, along with the elect. The first fruit spirits speaks about this in Revelation 14:4. Along with the first fruit spirits, created everything that we see here today. Also, Esau and everything that we see. So with that being said, let me read this. This is Ecclesiasticus starting at verse 8. It says, by the knowledge of the Lord Yahawashi, they were this. Right. Okay, this is going to feast, but we can start at 8. That's fine. By the knowledge of the Lord, where they were distinguished, he altered the seasons and the feasts. Some of them have he made high days, and some of them have he made ordinary days. So, you know, let's go into the seasons, man. Going to the moon, you know, all that. High holy days, all that we keep. It says here, the point here though. All men are from the ground, because going into that word Adam goes into Adama, which goes into ground, because Adam is from the ground. You know, it says all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of the earth. It says verse 11. In much knowledge, okay, because the Lord from Adam, you know, and then from Noah, and then, you know, from the four sons of Noah that repopulated the earth, you know, we all stem from them, you know, but nonetheless, you know, the Israelites' ways are different from the ways of the Edomites, and the Edomite ways are different from the ways of the Moabites, you know. So shit. But Esau, he likes to eat raw meat, man. He likes that red meat. He likes uncooked food, you know, for some reason. And you know, they're fucking. That's just their nature. And we're reading about it here, and you know, but it says here. I wanted to bring out here. It says all men are of the ground, and animals created of the earth. It says, in much knowledge hath the Lord divided them and made their ways diverse. You know, like I said, you know, Esau is different than us. We don't get down like that. You know, it says in verse 12, some of them have he blessed. The ones that he has blessed is going into the nation of Israel. All right, we've been blessed. First off and foremost, starting off with the elect. All right, with the remnant. All right, that have this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Speaks about in Isaiah 33:6 how wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Okay, the elect, okay, have been given grace and mercy, but all that starts with the wisdom and understanding of Yahawashi and actually having faith and believing in him, because we have to have faith, and it has to be instilled in us from the foundations of the earth for us to then, you know, believe, so that therefore we can get salvation, so therefore that we can get, you know, mercy. Scriptures speak about how, you know, it's impossible to please, you know, the Most High without faith. Okay, so the Lord Yahawashi has blessed us. He has exalted us. Okay, but that starts with the wisdom and understanding first. Okay, the wisdom and understanding, you know, is gonna lead us into the kingdom. Okay, you know, it's not muscles. It's not money. It's not nothing. It's about faith and mercy. Okay, that's how we're gonna enter into the kingdom. You know, faith, mercy, and enduring. Okay, I'll say it like that. All right. It says here, some of them have he blessed. So we know the ones that he blessed is the Israelites. All right. And some of them have he sanctified. That's an Israelite. Okay. And set near himself. That's an Israelite. Okay. And this is why, you know, we're Yasha, okay, which means sons of God, or he, prince of God. Okay. We're the closest thing to the Most High Yahawashi. We're the closest thing to Yahawashi and Yahawah that there will ever be on the planet. There's no other nation outside the nation of Israel, which we are the nation of Israel. But no other nation, okay, not the Edomites, not the Moabites, not the Ammonites, not anybody, none of them is as close to Yahawashi as we are. Okay, scriptures speak about how in Zechariah that we are the apple of the Lord's eye. You know, roughly paraphrasing. I'll pull that real quick. While I'm quoting it, because I haven't. I haven't been over that scripture in a while. Let me see. This is Zechariah 2:8, right to the point. I'm gonna read it in NLT, verse 8, right hand side. It says, "After." Hold on. And make sure we get on that. Okay, it says, "And after a period of glory, the Lord of heaven's army sent me against the nations who plundered you. For he said, anyone who harms you harms my most precious possession." All right, we belong to the Lord, man. We are very precious in the sight of Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawashi. All right. Anyway, it says he has set near himself the Israelites. Okay, so we understand that now. But it says in continuing on here in verse 12, it says, "But some of them have he cursed and brought low and turned out of their places." So this is why Esau is in the spirit that he's in. This is why Esau has a perpetual mindset to do wickedness on the earth, because that's what he's been set up to do. Like I brought out, I'm bringing this out right here, that the Lord has set up some to do certain things and made their ways diverse. So Esau had been set up to be the wicked on the earth, and that's all he's gonna do. That's all he's gonna do. That's all he's programmed to do. Okay? But the remnant, the elect, we're programmed for righteousness, man. We're programmed to endure to the end and hope and have faith, in Yahawashi for the mercy, so that we can be redeemed out of this current wicked, defiled kingdom and condition that we find ourselves in. Okay? Last precept. Well, I'm going to read down to verse 14. But it says, "As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it as at its pleasure, so is man in the hands of him that made him, which is Yahawah by Yahawashi, or Yahawah through Yahawah by Yahawashi, to render him best as liketh him." So whatever the Lord want to do, the Lord set up Esau to be wicked and set up all this shit to happen on earth because he wanted to, because that's the word of the Lord. He set up Esau to do all this bullshit just to destroy him at the end because he wanted to, because he can. Okay, you can't look at the Lord and be like, "What doest thou?" You know what I'm saying? We are the clay, and the Lord Yahweh Yahawashi is the powder. You know what I mean? We can't fucking be like, "Hey, what's going on?" That's not our place. But says here in verse 14, "Good is set against evil." All right, we are the good. The remnant is the good. All right, the Israelites, starting off with the elect, are the good. We are the good that's set against the evil. We are the ones crying out, for the abomination that be done in the midst thereof. We're seeing this wickedness and we're vexed with the filthy conversation, just as Lot was, and his whole kingdom and his whole setup is finna be destroyed by Yahweh according to the scriptures. All right. This good is set against evil, and life against death. So the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the ungodly. Okay? So, but in the end, the godly wins, and we are the godly in representation of the hopeful elect. But nonetheless, I just want to bring out that, the spirit was on me just to do a little tidbit on that. I didn't want to make this video long.
I was like, "Are you serious?"
And yeah, but let's look at some of the comments. We'll end it. Maybe we'll make it into the precept or something. But let's look at some of these comments. And it says medium alive, because even the people in the comments and other people know, like, this is strange. Like, if I saw someone eating this shit in real life, I'll probably be like, "Hey, yo, bro, why don't you cook that bitch?" You can argue and be like, "Yo, bro, this shit look like they didn't cook this bitch at all." But this how they like their shit. It is what it is. Let's continue to read. It says, "They cooked the steaks over a heated conversation." It's bad. instead of saying shit, this isn't groundbreaking.